Well, let's take you here now. The KwaDukuza Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal has closed its Zinkwazi and Blythedale beaches because their shark gear has been compromised. The municipality says debris-filled water from the Mvoti and Thukela rivers is flowing into the two beaches, making it impossible for the KwaZulu-Natal Sharks Boards to conduct maintenance on the shark gear. Let's get an update now. We are joined via Zoom by KwaDukuza Municipality spokesperson Sipho Mkhize. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, we understand that this is a precautionary measure that you are taking to close the beaches. Do you have an idea as to when these beaches might be reopened?
Thank you very much, Udnati, and greetings to the viewers of 404. We will open our beaches tomorrow. As stated, our closure today was a precautionary measure. Our province has experienced a significant rain in the past few days or so. This has caused much debris to fall onto the rivers, and then it's being washed away onto our ocean. So this morning, when the Sharks Board was out to surface their shark safety gear, we realized that the two beaches in question were busy washing out the debris that is in there. And it made that work quite difficult to operate under. So we've just said that we want our guests and residents to not swim at these beaches. They can still enjoy other facilities. I've been there myself and I've seen the debris on the beach sand. Our teams are busy trying to clear that off. But rest assured, tomorrow morning we will be operating.
How often does it happen that you have this kind of debris, or is it a case of too much rain in this particular case?
I would say it's just a case of too much rain. We haven't had to close off our beaches, particularly in the festive season, due to the debris. But obviously, given that the Sharks Board has not been in operation for the Christmas break up until yesterday's public holiday, we just took a measure to say that given the number of days, we feel it's safe to just cordon off the swimming component of the beach until such time that they are happy with the gear that's been installed, because there is a potential that with the debris that's been going in, there is a possibility that it could have reached the nets, it could have caused some damage to the nets, but until the Sharks Board is able to say that it's safe, we have just taken that decision to say no one shall swim. But also we are not happy with the debris that's coming out of the beach. It's quite large amounts. It's nothing we can control. Obviously, from an environmental point of view, these things happen. However, in our case, we just said no one should swim up until such time. At least we are sure that the shark safety gear is okay. But in KZN, we would just appeal to any beach goer to just take cognizance of the fact that there is much rain in the province and there's much debris that's washing off to the beaches. So aside the fact that we need to be cautious when swimming or not, we just need to have that at hindsight that there's debris there. You could be swimming and the beach cleans itself out. There are logs, there are types of weeds that are coming out. So with these specific beaches, we saw the need to just coordinate off because we felt it was too much. But our teams have been on the ground making sure that the beach sand is cleared. Now we just need to make sure that the shark safety gear hasn't been compromised, because we do believe that there's a potential over the past few days that it could have been compromised. But other than that, we have no issue.
All right, so you are confident then that the two beaches in question will be opened tomorrow. I mean, you have had other beaches closed. Talk to us then about the possible impact of these closures on your local economy. You know, we are currently in the festive season and people go to KwaZulu-Natal, for its wonderful beaches.
Well, I know our neighbors in eThekwini have certain incidences that have led to some of their beaches closing off. Fortunately for us, we haven't had a similar experience to them, but for the short space of time that we've had to close off our beaches, you know, business has said that there's a major hit on their end, and that you see holiday makers cancelling bookings, which obviously would have adverse effects to the local economy, because if people cancel their bookings at the holiday homes and so forth, it means that our local businesses are not making money. Our malls are not making money, so the people, the locals that are employed at all of these, and those who have crafts that they sell during this time, would obviously not make money, meaning that obviously the ripple effect will be felt. Obviously, maybe not now, but around about January, when we see people reorganize themselves for the year ahead. But in our case, we really haven't felt that much of a pinch, but obviously to the KZN economy, the beach closures are not a good experience. We do hear, you know, that the stories that our neighbors are sharing of hotels not being full as they would normally be. We've had stories of, you know, people just finding alternative things to do other than to come to the one gold mine that we have, which is the KZN Ocean during this time. So we are trying very hard, given the lessons of eThekwini, to make sure that as their immediate neighbor on the north, we don't find ourselves in a situation where we have beaches closed for the whole duration of the festive season. But definitely there are adverse effects, and whilst we may not see it now, we will feel the pinch when the festive season is over, and you know, life gets back to normal. You see, the temporary jobs in cases where beaches are closed will not be there. Well, there's a lot. The whole value chain becomes disturbed, Unati, and it's not a pleasant experience, because if we cannot offer our visitors the ocean, there's not much that we can offer them, particularly those of us who are on the coastal belt.
All right, Sipho Mkhize, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That's where we have to leave it for now. Of course, he is the spokesperson for the KwaDukuza Municipality, saying it's not looking entirely good from a tourism vantage point for a KZN, as some municipalities have to close down beaches for one reason or another. Let's take you to the story now. A 10-year-old girl has drowned and several other swimmers had to be rescued after a rip current swept them out to sea at the wilderness in the Garden Route. Now, Sea Rescue Institute Station Commander Mike Vonk says they managed to rescue 3 family members from George and 2 other teenagers. Vonk says lifeguards reached the 10-year-old girl and tried to resuscitate her, but she was later declared dead on the scene. Police have opened an inquest docket. A search is also underway for a man who went missing while swimming in Victoria Bay near George. In international news now, Pope Francis has appealed for special prayers for his predecessor, Pope Emeritus Benedict, who he says is very sick. It's reported that until a few weeks ago, his body was very frail, but his mind was still sharp. The Vatican says former Pope Benedict's condition is under control and he is receiving constant medical care. The 95-year-old pontiff became the first in 600 years to step down, citing lack of physical and mental strength to run the church. He's been living in the Vatican City since. Well, off to the Ukraine now, where on the ground in the eastern and southern parts of the country, Russian forces again shelled and bombed towns and cities. The heaviest fighting has been around the eastern city of Bakhmut, which Russia has been trying for months to storm at huge cost in lives.